So hey everybody, we're starting to get into the time frame of the year, especially here in the Houston area, where it's starting to get chilly. Now it's not cold, but it's starting to get chilly. And the weather's starting to drop down into the 40s and 30s at night. So it's time to start winterizing crops that you can actually keep. So main thing I want to do today is winterize some peppers. I want to show you all how I did it last year and how I'm going to do it this year. If you all don't know, peppers for the most part are perennials, which means they'll come back year after year after year. So you don't have to get rid of your pepper plants just because it's getting cold. Now all the leaves are going to fall off and you're going to think the pepper plants are dead, but they're not. They go dormant, just like any other plant, like fig trees. I'll show you an example of what I mean by going dormant. My fig trees are all dormant right now, already. Bam. It was like within a week they went dormant. So I'm about to move everything into the garage, set up the tables, and for the next 3 months, these plants are going to be in the garage, staying alive, but in dormancy. So you water them like once a week, just a little bit, just enough to keep them alive. And that way, once spring hits, you bring them back outside, and they're ready to rock and roll, and you'll immediately start getting fruit or vegetables. You'll start getting crops. So let's go ahead and winterize some peppers. Okay, so right here I have a bell pepper plant. One right here and one right here. Now this one needs to be taken care of for sure. And then I have I can never remember the name of this plant. And then I have this plant right here. Now this one produced a lot for me this year. Whole lot of good 2-3 inch red peppers. Really did good. But as you can see, it's looking pretty bad right now. Now if we come in on this, so like that right there. So this is dead. This up here is dead-ish. See that? Dead. So I'm gonna do a severe prune on this plant. And when I mean severe, it's gonna be severe because that's what it needs. Same with this plant here and that plant there. These two pepper plants are coming out and this one is going to come out. Now I'm not going to show me removing the plants right now. I'm going to show how I'm going to prune them, and then I'm going to move them probably tomorrow. But this flower bed next year in the spring will be nothing but herbs. And then I'm going to get another raised bed for here and probably one more. So I want to have 3 beds right in here for nothing but herbs. Because as you can see, the cilantro is doing great, but I'm getting off track, so let's get back. So what I did last year was I took off the great majority of the top of the plants. So even though we've got some leaves here, I'm still going to cut it right there. So what you want to do is you want to find a spot where you can take a branch off that brings it down, especially one that's like dead like that. And then you just want to do the whole plant like that. And then like right here, if you can see it, I've got life right here, but right beside it is gone. So I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to take that whole chunk off. And what this will do in spring, let me back up right there, is the plant will start shooting off new growth areas out of this spot right here. This little spot, these little leaves will probably become a stem with more growing spurs. I don't actually know the name of what they're called. Growing nodes, I think. I'm not sure. I won't try to act like I know all the terms, because I don't. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do for this one. I've decided to go ahead and leave this long branch because I have so much life still on it. And then if you look out here, I still have peppers growing. So I'm going to leave this one for now. And the same with back here. I don't have anything that's dead back here. Even that right there, if you could look, it's bending, it's not breaking, so it's still alive. Now that, of course, is dead right there. And then everywhere that I cut, I still have leaves that are alive, which is what you want to look for. This is what I looked for last year. See how, like right there, right where my finger is, I have a leaf? That will become a branch. And right here will become a branch next year. So I'm going to leave this plant like this. And I'm going to go ahead and actually leave this one in the raised bed, I decided. I'm going to mulch this area really, really thick so it stays good and warm. But that's what I'm going to do with this pepper plant. And that's just to leave it in there for now. And then in the spring, I will repot it to an actual bed that's going to be nothing but peppers. But over here, these have to come out. But I'm going to prune it now, and then I'll remove them in a day or so. And with this plant, I want it to be shorter next year and bushier. So I'm going to try something that I guess is controversial in the pepper world, where you're topping the plant. So that's what it's called, topping your plant. So what I want is, I don't want another pepper, I don't want my bell pepper plants to be 3 foot tall. I'd rather them be about 1.5 foot tall and super wide and bushy and full of peppers. So I'm going to give this a shot this year and see how, or right now, and then see how it goes in the spring. So again, find a growing node, and I'm just gonna take it right there. Growing node, like right here, right there, and chop it. Now, I know that looks very, very severe, because it is. It's going to make the plant really produce and push out more branches in the spring, and hopefully from side to side and not up and down. So let me do this back one real quick, and I'll show you why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it this year. Now, if you're wondering what the plan is behind this pepper plant, this is a pineapple sage. These bring in honeybees and hummingbirds like crazy. So it's a really good plant to have, and it's a sage, so it is an herb. That's why I'm going to let this one go in the garden, in this flower bed for now, before I remove it again. I've already cut this thing down once, and it's already grown back. Okay, so there you have it. I severely pruned these 2 pepper plants right here. I know that looks crazy and insane, considering each one of these plants, I think, gave me, I believe, 10 to 12 good sized peppers this year. But this is an experiment, because I didn't do a severe prune last year, and I'll show you what I got from that plant, those 2 plants, and we'll do that right now. Okay, so this pepper plant right here, and this one right beside it, this is going on its 2nd year. Both of these I got last year around October, and over the winter they were in the garage, and you can see where I had cut them. Let me back up mine. And you can see here where we got old and then new. This was cut last year. This part of it was not. But you can see a difference in the coloration here. Old, new. So this is how much it'll grow. Those other 2 pepper plants that I just cut will grow in the spring, and it will produce more peppers and more peppers. Again, old right here and new growth. Now this is an incredibly just scraggly looking beast of a plant here, and so is this one. But each one of these 2 pepper plants right here, these bell pepper plants, produce 20 to 40 bell peppers each this year. I've had bell peppers coming out of my ears, but hey, can always give them away, right? Or freeze them. So that is why right there you prune and you overwinter your pepper plants, because these 2 will come back even stronger next year, because next year will be its 2nd full year of life. And I think you can get 3 to 4 years out of a good pepper plant. I'd have to research that, but I believe that's what I've read. So yeah, that's why we do it. And then I also have this jalapeno plant right here that you can tell is already ready to go dormant, which I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to overwinter it. Good jalapenos here that are late season. So the whole point to overwintering your pepper plants, or any plant that you're going to keep, any vegetable plant that's a perennial that you're going to keep for the next year, you want to take away everything on that plant that's going to sap energy from the roots. So the bigger they are, the bushier they are, the more energy this plant is going to need. So you want to take them away as much as you can. It also gives the plant, from what I understand and what I've read and what I've noticed this year, it gives the plant a new jump start in spring. It will create, those growing nodes will just come alive and just start producing and pumping out branches, which will then produce fruit. So it's very important to do this, especially if you want to keep the plant. Now, if you don't want to keep the plant, yank it out, throw it away. I would say compost it. It is a good plant, but compost it or just get rid of it, whatever, and then start all over. But when you do that, you're waiting, and that's the name of the game, is you're waiting. You don't want to be waiting forever when you can already have plants ready to go as soon as you bring them outside, and as soon as that spring weather hits and they wake up, that's when it's on. All right, everybody, so that's why you do this. You want to make sure that when you're doing it, you want to kind of go severe. It's like when I did the tomatoes in the beginning of spring, where I did the video and I severely pruned the tomatoes to force all that growing energy up. Well, you're doing kind of the same thing, it's just delayed. You're taking away all of the, well, not all of it, you're taking away a lot of the growing, you're taking away a lot of the energy sucking part of the plant, which is the top foliage. You're getting rid of it, and you're allowing that plant to then have a reserve of energy, so as soon as spring hits and that weather hits it, bam, it releases everything and it's gone. So that's why I do it. I did it last year, and you saw the bell pepper plants now. They're crazy and scraggly looking, and they almost look like trees, but man, do they produce some fruits or vegetables. So yeah, that's why I do it. I'm going to continue to do it. And I've got about 30, I have about 20 to 30 plants, pepper plants, that I have to overwinter in the next few days. So I'm going to be busy, and it's time though to get them in the garage. I did want to throw out another mention. Order your seeds for spring now. Do not wait. If you wait, you might not be able to get the seeds that you want, won't be able to plant the plants that you want, and then you have to settle for other plants. I highly suggest doing it now. I just got another order of seeds in last week, so I am ready for spring, for real. I've got a whole new setup for the garden coming. That is en route and starting to be worked on. So I'm excited for spring, but I'm also enjoying this winter weather for Houston. All right, so I'm in there editing the video and realized that, hey, I never hit the record button when I finished the video. So I'm back out here again, hopefully the lighting is good, to finish out the video. So, hey, just keeping it real. Hey everyone, if you all enjoyed this video, like the video, think it's educational in any way, know anyone that might get something out of this video, please share it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram, Down Home Backyard Gardening, and as always, shine bright and harvest hard. Bye.